come to what happens to the market woman that has placed money in this firm, mega firm, financial services, and all the rest, what is the process to recover his or her money now that you've announced that this company has lost his or her license? What is the plan now for that person to get his or her money back based on whatever you've done?
Yes. So I think the first port of call is that early next week we'll start a validation process, and we will allow investors.
That's Monday?
We'll make announcements because again there are logistics to be put in place. But we'll make announcements and give people timelines on where they can file their claims. For now, we encourage the public to remain calm. We are putting arrangements in place to ensure that things happen in an orderly manner. And there will be the appropriate notifications as and when we progress. But the framework, as we mentioned, is that we'll make some reliefs available. And that's also part of the reliefs that we are looking at for investors. We'll make some resources available once we've done the validation exercise and we are satisfied that the claimants are who they say they are. And then following that, we mentioned the next steps we take, which is to try to retrieve those assets. They will rely on the Registrar General to proceed to also look at liquidating some of these businesses.
What have you been able, I mean, it took a while to take the decision and all the rest. What have you been able to establish as in the assets that these companies will hold in terms of the value? And what has also, let me establish first what assets, the total assets that these companies that you've actually withdrawn their license will hold.
Well, at this point, we'll have to, now that we've revoked their licenses, because part of the problem is if you find the firm is not reporting frequently, your visibility on their asset profile is challenged. Your visibility on the performance on their instruments, on transactions they've done with related parties is also limited. So we will ascertain that information, and I think that's also part of the need to have moved at this time. So that exercise will also happen. We'll establish the asset base, but there are some assets. Some of the funds we're talking about are actually, some of the firms are pension fund managers. So those assets are actually ring-fenced and are held by custodians. We expect that those assets are safe. They are in very specific instruments with very specific guidelines on what can be done with those assets. So that's where we are.
But Mr. Bibu, that is quite interesting. I believe that all those work has been done already. We are even hearing figures of about 1 billion Ghana cedis and all the rest. So some would say that it's interesting that you are now trying to establish the assets that these firms hold.
No, a lot of the figures we have are reports they send us, right? So at the point where, because you assume that they are telling you the truth, right?
So it's about 1 billion there.
No, we have about 1 billion complaints. We have
What about the assets that they are holding?
Oh, you're asking about what they hold.
Yeah, based on
The estimate is about 8 billion. 8 billion, including pension funds. Including pension funds. I think the question, the reason why I was trying to say that there needs to be some further verification is that for some of the firms, they've not reported for a while. So you would go in there, you'd have a sense of the assets, but if the assets are not performing, for instance, they would have to be provisioned, right? And so that's where you have to find, even though we can say a number, it may not be what you see when you go into the business. Exactly.
But, so 8 billion, and how much has government provided for this?
For now, I cannot disclose that.
But is there